What's going on, cat gang? Harry here with two cats, and today I have another installment in the greatest TDS series in history. This time we're going to be testing out the brand new Harvester Tower, which has a placement limit of 4 per person. So it's going to be 16 harvesters versus that nasty Fallen King. Now I want to hop over to the TDS wiki and look at some of the stats here so that we know what to expect from this tower. This is going to cost $1,400 to play, so it's going to be a little difficult to get down early, which is why you're going to see me placing a Jester initially, just so we don't take too much damage in the beginning. The good news here in these base statistics is that it does get flying detection at level 0, but it doesn't have hidden detection at all. But having said that, the Thorns ability does damage hiddens, even though it isn't a lot. So initially it will be enough to take them out, but when we get to about wave 20, we need to put some golden minigunners and accelerators in the back of the map, just to make sure we don't die to hiddens before we get to the final wave. Now looking at the overall DPS, this tower has a max level damage per second at 59.68, so about 60, and that does not include the Thorns ability. And let me take a second to tell you about the Thorns, because this is by far the coolest part of this entire tower. At max level, they're doing 30 damage. They have a range of 20 studs. They last for 16 seconds, and they slow enemies down by 30%. One of the things that was really cool about seeing this tower in action in this game was watching the unique synergy of the Thorns with the Jester's slow and confusion. And this really made it seem like at times enemies would get stuck in the Thorns because they're walking back and forth over them. Plus they're getting hit by the ice ability, which is slowing them down. And I swear in a couple of these games, it looked like the tank got stuck in place. So taking all of these stats in together, I would say that this is a pretty solid tower, because you're not only getting the 60 DPS, which does have some piercing. At max level, the Harvester's arrows go through 4 enemies, but you're also getting the Thorn damage. The only thing I found kind of difficult about that was just remembering that I have another ability I have to be using throughout the game. Now, real quick before I move on, I have got to mention this part of the Thorn ability, because I've never seen a tower in TDS do something like this. It actually has something called Nature's Bond, which means that when you use it, nearby farms adjacent to the path will produce thorns, dealing half the damage and duration from the tower. So this looks like it would be 8 seconds instead of 16. It would slow by 15%. It's going to be probably half the range as well at 10, and do 15 damage. You heard that right. Farms do damage now. I was watching Jordan State use this tower yesterday, and he was actually clicking on his farms, and it was showing him that the farms were doing damage. Farms doing damage, DJ doing damage. I leave for 1 year, and I don't even recognize this game anymore. What I'm not entirely sure about is what level the farm has to be to get this ability, or what level the Harvester has to be, because it definitely wasn't happening from the base level. I want to say I noticed it start to happen at level 5, so you might have to have the tower upgraded to max for this to go into effect. If you know a little bit more about it, go ahead and leave me a comment explaining it down below, because I am old and crazy and need help. Now, one of the last things I want to do before I get into this gameplay is compare this tower to a pre-existing TDS tower, just so you kind of have an idea of where it falls in the TDS hierarchy. The first tower to compare it to is the Militant. They have a similar DPS, with the Harvester being about 60 and the Militant being about 50. The Militant might be a little better in certain circumstances, because it does have flying detection, but it also has hidden detection, and there is no placement limit. Just looking at the DPS, I would also compare it to the regular Cowboy. This tower has a max level DPS of about 56, and it does have hidden detection, but here you are missing something really important, because you don't have any flying detection. Overall, I definitely enjoyed making this video. The coolest part was by far the Thorns, and you guys already know how much I love the Jester, so seeing how the Jester's ability fits so perfectly with the Harvester's Thorns, it's just a really cool addition to the game. Speaking of the game, let's go ahead and roll that footage. And last but not least, I'm going to give a shout out to the amazing Robloxians that helped me: Shotfire Scout, Thanos Truck Zero, Slee, Mr. Noob Gaming, Too Cool to Be, and Just Timeless Live. Now go ahead and sit back, relax, and grab the largest cat you can find, and I'll see you right back here at the end. And we lost. So the Harvester was not quite doing enough damage to get past wave 35. That's understandable since we can only place 16 of them. But you know the cat gang ain't gonna give up that easily. So we came back and used whatever towers we wanted to get to the final wave. And then once all of the enemies besides the Fallen King are dead, we sell every single tower besides the Harvester just to get an idea of how much damage the Harvester can do. So looking at the Fallen King's health from the moment I sold my last DPS tower until the moment right before we died, it looks like the 16 Harvesters did about 60,000 damage. Of course, we did have a fire rate and damage flag down that entire time, so those would have helped us out just a little bit. Overall, this is a great tower, just don't expect it to do all the damage. Now, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash that like button with your forehead, hit that subscribe button with your big toe, and turn on notifications however you can so you don't miss any of my amazing upcoming content. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, be safe, and never forget what I always say. Peace.